talk about where our habits come from, specifically the role of childhood attachment, survival strategies, and systems of oppression in our people-pleasing, codependent, and perfectionist patterns?
Yeah, so these habits are rooted in both personal history and collective forces. On a personal level, they're often attachment strategies. So if your caregivers were emotionally immature, unpredictable, critical, or emotionally absent, or actually abusive, your nervous system learned to hustle for love, managing their moods, protecting yourself, staying small so you wouldn't cause waves, or being so big no one was looking at actual you, so you could still feel good, accepted, lovable. But emotional outsourcing isn't limited to those situations. Even if you had what we call a pretty good childhood, love may have been conditional, not given. You may have been praised for being the easy kid when you didn't need much, or only loved on when you got all A's or weren't a bother, were rewarded for being mature for your age and putting others first, being the good girl who takes care of the other kids, or the good boy who didn't cry, and so on. Those subtle dynamics also train us to look outward for worth instead of believing it's just inherent, which it is. On a broader level, systems of oppression shape these patterns. Patriarchy conditions girls and women to be caretakers and peacemakers and tells boys and men not to have a full human range of feelings. Capitalism ties our value to productivity and perfectionism, and we find ourselves believing our worth depends entirely on how much we can produce or give. White settler colonialism and assimilation pressures tell us that belonging comes from erasing parts of ourselves. Our nervous systems don't grow in a vacuum. They're shaped inside these systems in addition to our family blueprint and legacy. For marginalized folks, these patterns carry additional layers. People of color may have learned that assimilation and people-pleasing were literal survival strategies because they were. For Black women, the strong Black woman stereotype demands emotional labor while denying vulnerability. Indigenous people face pressure to assimilate and silence cultural needs. Queer and trans folks might have developed hypervigilance around others' comfort as protection against rejection or violence. Emotional outsourcing is the body's way of adapting to those conditions, a brilliant way, in fact.